Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Matt and Crystal podcast. I think where we left off yesterday was when Matt and Crystal were broken up. Matt's now dating Angela, who's an 18-year-old schoolgirl or in her final years of school. And Crystal is dating Timmy, who's one of her ex-friends' ex-husband. Well, they were friends and they're not friends anymore, obviously, because she's dating the ex-husband. This woman was the one that had taken the maternity photos for Crystal's last pregnancy, I think with Trey, maybe. And so I don't think she was really happy about the fact that they'd gotten together, but I don't know about that part. But so what had happened is Crystal's just had a moment of weakness, and when she's done one of the drop-offs for the kids, she has slept with Matt. And Matt has held this over her head for a couple of weeks before finally telling Timmy that Crystal had cheated on him. And Timmy divulges this on Facebook. I can't remember exactly what the post was, but it basically talking about being cheated on. Everybody breaks up. Angela ends up taking Matt back. I think Timmy and Crystal, I think they get back together like momentarily. And then later on, he puts out like a post saying that he's just going to focus on his son at that time. So now I'm just like back on the YouTube I'm a Drama page just to kind of remember where I was at. And you know what? I forgot. After this moment, there was a lot of times where Matt was kind of using Angela to get at Crystal, you know? Like, I know that at Christmas time when he was like, you know, it's amazing what an engagement ring can get you. And he bought like the kids' Christmas presents and he bought his new girlfriend Christmas presents with the money that he'd sold Crystal's engagement ring for. And then he was making all these posts. Like, so then Angela moves in with him, okay? So that's like obviously his statement to Angela to say, you know, you're the one I pick, we're going to be together. So she moves in and then she becomes like the person, the go-between with Matt and Crystal. And from what I remember, they got along pretty well. Like Angela would be looking after the kids and she'd take a picture of the kids and she'd send it to Crystal while she was at work. And I think they'd still get along now, but they did get along quite well for that time. I don't know if there was like any animosity between them after that. I think Angela, like everyone was like, oh my God, you know, calling Angela a homewrecker, like an 18-year-old homewrecker. The starter, she didn't break them up. Like Matt had been cheating on Crystal forever. They got together afterwards, from what I know. Like from what Angela would, like what she knows, they weren't actually together anymore. So, and then he like is just making all these posts. Like there's one post here where he actually uploads a status and writes, Angela Morris has a nice ring to it, okay, which is kind of weird thing to write, like after just being together. And there's like a screenshot here and someone's like, but he was engaged to Crystal a month ago. What a hot mess. Angela's stupid. Everything he's posting and doing is obviously to get Crystal jealous. She probably doesn't care because she wants to be with Matt from Luckless. They're both morons. They're perfect for each other. I feel bad for the kids though. Now, I don't know, like, you know, I don't think anyone would date him because it's Matt from Luckless. Like, Luckless isn't that big of a thing. Is it really that big of a thing? Like, I know that some people on here are like, oh, you know, I don't mind some of the clothes. But, I mean, I would not wear a shirt that's like, she likes the D. What the fuck? Like, I don't care how country you are. That's pretty trashy. But anyway, I mean, I get it if you're like 15, 16. But, like, this is a full-grown man designing clothes that look like they're designed for 14-year-olds. That's just my opinion. I like some of the camo stuff. The sunflower things that Holly is wearing now, like, holy fuck. How much of that sunflower shit did they buy? Because every time I look at, like, one of her TikToks, I feel like I am being violated by sunflowers. They are just absolutely everywhere. Anyways, with Angela, like, I don't think Angela is really stupid. Like, she's 18, so she is probably young, a little naive. You know, I do believe that Matt was saying all these things to get Crystal jealous. Of course he was. That's all they did. Like, Crystal uploaded a picture of her and Timmy in the bed to get Matt jealous. We know how it works. They're trying to one-up each other. They still do it now. They still do it now. Her and Holly try to one-up each other all the time. And they pretend that they like each other, but we know that they don't. They don't like each other. But basically, the posts are getting pretty pathetic with what Matt's posting, you know? Like, it'll be something like, you know, I've never known a love like this, and just that sort of crap, you know what I mean? So, like, the mother of his 3 kids that birthed his 3 children and has raised them for him means absolutely nothing to him, as opposed to this person that he's known for 2 weeks. they were just posts that were deliberately made to get at Crystal. I'm not sure how Angela didn't see this. She probably did at the time but didn't care. Like, I don't know what her mindset was with that. She was, like I said, she was only 18 at the time. She probably was a bit young and naive. You know, Matt, he talks a good talk. You know, he's got a bit of game there, I guess, if you're like susceptible to that kind of thing. But I mean, we've known him and we've watched him for a long time. So if he came up to you and started talking to you, you'd be like, ew, get away from me, you know. But he'd like post pictures of Angela in her undies and like, so it was like her butt in the luckless stuff and like giving the finger, and it was just, or maybe it was her giving the finger in the picture. I can't actually remember, but I do recall like people were hating on Angela for this. I don't know why. I think it was because, you know, a lot of the people that are actually watching like the audience for this is like mums that have children, and I think they're probably putting themselves in Crystal's shoes and how they'd feel if their husband left them for like another young girl. But, you know, in hindsight, it really wasn't Angela's fault. Like, I'll tell you, I'll admit, like, I was like dirty on Angela. I was like, oh my God, how does she think this is okay? But really, you know, she was young and she was obviously, she liked Matt, you know what I mean? And Matt, like I said, he talks a good game. So anyway, all of these pictures start popping up on a page. This page comes out and all these nudes of Crystal are on this page. They're all uploaded on the page and everyone thinks it's Angela. Everybody thinks it's Angela. I actually believe it was probably Matt, most likely. I just don't know why, you know, because she was being this go-between between Matt and Crystal. I just can't see her, you know, sending pictures and stuff. Like, obviously they know that Matt and Ange have these pictures, or that Matt has these pictures. And I just feel like Matt's the only one that's actually petty enough to put it out there. But then, not long after this, Matt puts his post up on Facebook and he says, I'm sure it was Facebook, but he puts his post up and he was like, oh my God, you know, basically calling Crystal trash because he found Crystal and Timmy's sex tapes on Braden's iPad. Ooh, oh my God. So obviously what happened was a lot of people were under the impression that they'd taken these sex tapes on the iPad and stuff, but that's not what actually happened. Apparently, she had on her phone, and her phone was linked to Braden's iPad, and all of it, like, uploaded onto the cloud. So, and I've done shit like this before. Granted, it wasn't a sex tape, but I don't know if I should say this because she'll probably know it's her, but, like the other week, for example, we got my son, like my oldest son, we got him an iPhone because when we go places and he's here with his granddad, because like my dad is staying with us at the moment, so when he's here we want him to be able to like call us and stuff, because my dad's not really tech savvy, you know, so we want him to be able to call us. And my friend, she sent through pictures and there was like lingerie pictures in it, and luckily my husband had taken my son to the movies with a friend and he had the phone in his pocket. So he rang me and he was like, oh my God, someone is like sending these lingerie pictures to our kid, right? And I was like, oh my God. I said, is it from this person? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, don't worry about it, just delete it, because it was linked to the cloud. But for some reason, like the cloud had I don't know, the phone's like connected somehow, but I mean, it probably wasn't a huge deal because she was in lingerie and stuff, but it was inappropriate, okay? It would have been inappropriate for a child to see it, but luckily my husband seen it instead. So, phew. But so I can see how that happens. And now, like, the cloud gives me anxiety. Like, I cannot stand it. I would rather lose all my shit than deal with the cloud. And, you know, and I've got some shady shit on my phone because of, like, running this page and stuff. Like, I have probably every Instamum sex video on my phone because of the stuff they get sent to me. So it is, you know, pretty wild. So now I use like Google Photos and videos, and it uploads automatically and then it wipes it from my phone, and I don't have the cloud connected because that is just a fucking nightmare waiting to happen. So I can see how this has happened, and I'm actually surprised that those sex tapes never got leaked. Like, I feel like maybe they weren't, I don't know. I really don't know why you would just make sex tapes with someone that you've only been with for a little bit. It's very weird, but especially being Timmy, who's been like married. He got cheated on. He started dating Crystal, and Crystal, like, she'll pull the wool over your eyes. Like, that girl, butter won't melt in her mouth when you first meet her. And then you get to know her and you're like, you are a fucking, oh my God, like, hot mess express. But, so imagine, like, just being this guy and you're married to another woman and then you break up and you start dating again, and the first person you date is Crystal. Surely to Christ, like, I can see why Matt, like, switched teams because, I just can't even imagine. It would be an absolute nightmare. And, like, so I can see why he was like, I just want to focus on my son. I feel like the focus on my son was the excuse to get away from Crystal. But those two, they cross paths again. Don't you worry about it. But I'm reading, like, some of these comments, like, they have no sympathy for her. She makes herself out to be a victim. If you don't want your naked pics and videos leaked, stop fucking making them, which is absolutely spot on. So they're saying it's on the son's iPad. And then I think she actually took down her Instagram for a bit. Obviously, you'd be pretty embarrassed. But, like, other people are saying, like, why the hell would you have them where your son could possibly see them? Because, like, and this is the thing with the cloud. Like, if you're going to put something on it, you've got to double check it. You can't, not that it really matters at this point because, like, Braden's going to see a lot of worse shit when his friends come to him and be like, hey, I seen your mum's butthole on the internet, you want to see? I feel like, a sex tape with Timmy is, like, really low on the priority list. But we didn't know back then that she was just going to completely, do this to her children, like, scar them for life. But that's the choice that she went with. So people are like, speculations was on our iCloud and it got synced by accident, which I'm guessing this what happened. So Timmy and Crystal then broke up again, obviously, because they were sort of like, I don't know, they got back together, like, momentarily. So after the cheating thing, they were kind of seeing each other, but it wasn't working. And that was, of course, when Timmy said that he was just going to focus on his son, which I'm pretty sure was an excuse, but whatever. And then, like, literally, this is the 15th of March. Matt and Crystal are back together. She's such a fucking idiot, and her dumbass followers telling her, everyone makes mistakes. I hope you and Matt work out. Oh, how can you see that as a mistake? Like, how do you make a mistake? Like, there's a mistake, and then there is, like, repeating the same behavior over and over and over. That's not a mistake. If you can't learn from your mistakes, then you get the fuck out, there's a lot of people that go through, their partners having indiscretions and they can work past them. But when it's a constant thing, I don't know. They're just always one-upping each other. So it's kind of weird. And people are just like, are you serious? Like, even after she complained that he forced her to do sexual acts, she gets back with him. But they absolutely got back together. She was saying that she just wanted her family to be together. She just wanted it all to work out. So then Matt puts this post up on the Luckless Clothing page. This is on the Instagram Luckless Clothing page. And it says, 3/10/12 was the day this woman gave her heart to me and we began to write a new chapter in our lives. Just over 4 years have passed since then and we have 3 healthy and beautiful children. I'm having a very hard time expressing my gratitude and love for Crystal because some feelings are simply beyond putting into words. Oh boy. She is one of those people who can walk into your life and make you see the sun where you once saw clouds. She is the kind of person who will believe in you so much that you start to believe in you too. I realised what true love was just when looking in her eyes made time stand still. Her laugh made me tense up, afraid that someday I may not hear it again. Her voice calming my worst anxiety and making me listen to everything she has to say. Her smile so beautiful it hurts. When you truly love someone, you can't experience something without wishing they were there to see it too. Love doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be true. Without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. I don't know what the future holds, but I sure hope she's in it. At catching up with Crystal, #love story. Oh my God. And then, like, someone comments, this was just the sweetest. I really hope you found your way back to each other and have a long, happy and loving days together. No, that's not what's going to happen. But, let's just pretend that, I just can't, like, how do you just pretend like none of that happened, and I just can't imagine not seeing her again. You are the biggest prick to her ever. What is wrong with these people? And what was really sad about all this as well was Crystal actually got a job working as like I can't think what they're called over there, but it's like a doctor or a dental assistant or something like that. But she got a job doing that, and she had her own apartment and everything. And then, you know, obviously Matt would have been like, oh my God, I can't control anymore. She's got her own place, got to get that back. And then next minute, like, they're moving to Florida. But it was funny because, you know, this whole time she's trying to prove to her followers, like, Matt's changed. Like, there was actually a point there, like someone said here, I feel like they're trying to prove to people that they're happy. Crystal was definitely trying to prove Matt was faithful when she posted on Facebook about how someone was texting him and he went right to her about it. So everything has to be public. Like, she had to publicly shame this girl for, like, messaging Matt. I mean, it is hard for people to keep up with whether you're together or not. I don't know. But she was then posting, like, memes saying, you know, it was like a husband and wife getting married. She's like, oh, I hope you're this happy when you take me down the aisle and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck? It's just, I don't know. Like, she's just delusional at this stage. It's so delusional. And the whole thing was really, really fake. And then I don't remember if this is the exact time, but when they moved to Florida, he actually made, like, a GoFundMe to move his family. And everyone was like, well, you know, that's what, you know, you save for that. Like, you don't make a GoFundMe so people can, like, pay for you to move to Florida. And I remember Matt was like, savings are for savings. Like, and he was, like, talking about how he had savings, but he didn't want to spend his savings to move his family to Florida because he felt like his followers should pay that. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what an absolute dick. Because there was a couple of GoFundMe instances. Like, there was another one where he posted a GoFundMe and said that Luckless clothing account had been hacked or something, and he wanted people to, like, help him to get the business back because obviously, you know, he'd spent all this money, which is what your insurance is for. Like, you should have insurances for that. If you own a business and it's a legit business, you have insurances for something like that happens. Like, if you get robbed or whatever, you then put in an insurance claim. You know, you don't call on your followers who, you know, and these are, like, a lot of them are faithful followers, to pay for your shit, because there was people that donated to help them move to Florida. And he actually opened, like, people, when they were having go on him, was saying, well, you know, you meant to save for that. And he's like, savings are for savings, and saying he has savings, but he doesn't want to spend it. Like, oh my God, you just can't think, you just don't think that someone could be a bigger douche, and of course they are. And I did notice on this YouTube Mama Drama thread that people were talking about how, you know, her kids now have clothes on and things like that. And, like, you know, back then I always thought Crystal was a great mum. Like, I don't know what the weather's like there. Where I live, you know, if I was outside, I'd have clothes on my kids, of course, because our son is quite strong here. But inside, a lot of the time, my kids did spend their days in diapers because it was too hot for clothes. So a lot of the time, they just pull them off anyway. So I understand that. But one of these posts, one of the people says, she posted a snap of the kids in bed, in diapers, of course, but the bed had no sheets on it. She's lived in Florida for 2 weeks now and hasn't gotten sheets on her bed, but she's managed to dye her hair, though. And, like, this was a bit of a thing, too, because every time him and Matt and Crystal broke up, every time they broke up, he would talk about how lazy she was, like how she was just always on a phone and she wouldn't actually do any housework and things like that, which was kind of weird because then anytime that she did cleaning and stuff, he would, like, sexualize it. And he did this with more than one person too. Like, I remember he would, like, she'd be on her hands and knees, like, scrubbing the floor, and he'd be like, you know, she was good today or something, so I thought I'd reward her and she can clean my car afterwards. It was just weird. He did the exact same thing with Holly. Like, if that was me and my partner did those pictures with their ex and then, like, tried to redo that whole whatever the fuck it was with me, I'd be like, dude, no. Like, that's weird. It's just weird. So it was kind of weird, but it was like a thing all the time saying that she was really lazy. And I always thought that was kind of rude because she'd have 3 kids. And, like, I've got 3 kids back to back, and at times, when they were little, like, shit can be hectic. Like, sometimes, but, like, our kids had a very good routine. So, like, when they went to bed at 7 o'clock, like, I would just stay up for the rest of the time, make sure the house is ready for the next day to be destroyed again. But in saying that, you know, I did have this page where I'd post here and there, but, like, it seemed like Crystal was, like, glued to her phone the entire time. And it was all about, like, you know, making videos about her hair colours and, like, hair designs and stuff. And it kind of, when she started dating Christian, who is like this apparent clean freak, and she kept saying how, I've got to like retrain myself to do this and I've got to do that and that. And she was not used to being a clean person. Like, she was used to being in a messy household, it seemed. So it kind of like reinforced what Matt had been saying, because she was like kind of admitting to it, I guess. But there's like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having like I wouldn't say messy, like I'd say untidy house. Like, people that have young kids, they're cluttered. There's going to be toys on the floor and stuff. There are going to be times where you are too tired to do the dishes, and that's fine. As long as you're not doing that every day, that is fine, because you know what's going to happen? If you do that every day, you're going to get into a slum, and then you're never going to be able to get yourself out of it. But it's okay to be too tired some nights to do the dishes. Like, that's fine. An everyday thing is not okay, if that makes sense. Like, if you're filling your days with doing pointless shit instead, it's not because you're too tired, it's because you're like glued to your phone all day. So one of the comments on the thread says, lol, she answered a question on Snapchat about if they celebrate their anniversary for when they got together 5 years ago or when they got back together this time. She said the 5 years because 3 months doesn't take back 5 years. So what, they're just going to pretend they weren't screwing each other for those 3 months? And someone said, yeah, in her story, she was doing a Q&A and someone asked, what are your favourite qualities of Matt? And she said, how sweet he is. Really now, those videos you posted of him admitting he cheated on you throughout your relationship, him putting his hands on you, I assumed he did because of the pictures where your neck was red, but also read somewhere that he choked her while she was pregnant with Trayson. What the actual fuck? That guy's not right in the head, and she's not only being stupid by putting herself through this. Just imagine what those poor innocent kids have seen. Shake my head. There's so much wrong with her situation. She's a grown-ass woman. She can't even see it because she's blinded by this fantasy that Matt is actually going to change and they'll be the perfect family. Yeah, give it till September, and that's being generous, until some shit starts again. So, I mean, everyone has seen the ups and downs. It's gone on forever. So once again, things between Crystal and Matt start to get a little bit hasty. So I'm going to insert a video here, but I have to explain it first because there are a couple of spoiler alerts. So basically, Matt had come home, he'd checked for, like, the history on the computer or something, and found that Crystal had been messaging, or she'd been looking up Timmy. She'd been looking him up. So I think later on she actually got caught messaging saying she missed him or something. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly, so please, if you remember, put it in the comments. But at this point, she'd been looking him up on Facebook. And when Matt tried to address this with her, she was like, oh no, it's no big deal, she had a friend over or something, and they looked it up for whatever reason. So she sort of tried to flip it off, and he wasn't happy with it. And I can't blame him. He doesn't really have a leg to stand on because he did cheat on her so many times, but they've gotten back together, they've agreed to put everything in the past. And then I'd be pissed too if I'd done that and then they were still looking up the person they were seeing beforehand. I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful. So anyway, in this video, he's talking about that. So obviously he hasn't let it go. He's still upset about it. She's sort of trying to make out like it's no big deal, and she's not properly addressing it with him. I feel like he just feels like he's not being heard by the sounds of it. But the spoiler alert is later on she finds out that she's pregnant and it's Matt's baby. And then, Matt tries to accuse Crystal of it actually being Timmy's baby. And he messages Tim and says, she's pregnant with your kid or something, just to be spiteful. Now, I have seen a few screenshots between Crystal and Matt. So the screenshots I seen were Matt saying, I know it's my baby, that it's no one else's baby. Basically saying that he just says it because he's mad and he knows it's going to bite her. It's going to upset her. Now, the story was with Crystal. She told me that they had gotten a fight. I think it was even New Year's Eve or something. It was I don't know what day it was, but they got in a fight. She got out of the car, didn't have her handbag with her or a phone or whatever. And it was just around the road from Tim's house, just around the corner. Now, she said that that Matt thinks she went to Tim's, but she never actually went to Tim's. She actually went to one of her friend's houses and stayed there while a friend that she'd been in basic training with, I guess, and that she'd stayed there, and that, Tim was working that night, so there's no way she could have seen him anyway. Now, I don't know. This is just what she told me. And looking back, there has been quite a few lies that Crystal has told me to sort of like sell her side of the story as her being the victim and Matt being the bad guy. So I don't really know. But this is what her story was to me, that she'd never seen Timmy. However, when I'm reviewing this video, I kind of find it weird that, you know, you'll hear it mentioned how Tim said, you know, if Crystal has any questions about that night, you know, she can message me. So it kind of seems to me like she did go and see Tim, because, you know, why would she have any questions if she never went and seen you that night? You know, so obviously this is something to do with like sexual activity and like what went down if she could have actually been pregnant. That's how I'm seeing it. Like, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But I feel like if she never actually went to Tim's, why would he have to explain anything to her about that night? Like, wouldn't he be explaining to Matt saying, well, she never came around here, we never seen each other? Why would he be talking to Crystal about it? Seems weird. So I feel like that's another bullshit lie that Crystal actually fed me. But let's just go listen to the video and you'll get what I'm talking about.
Are you going to do your business on because your other one broke? Am I abusive when we pay your bills? Was I abusive when we took the kids to go get this playhouse for their Christmas?
You pay the bills.
No.
I take care of the children in the house.
Okay, and what's wrong with that? Why wasn't that working? Why isn't it working? Why can't I say, oh, I'm kind of upset about you creeping on Tim? Why can't I be upset about that? Why do you have to turn
And then
it
I
into
gave
this?
you a valid reason, and you still kept going on it. Why should I have been upset?
I didn't keep going.
Should I have been upset when you texted Tim saying that I was pregnant and it
You were
wasn't your
upset.
baby?
You were upset.
And was that the right thing to do?
Why did
That
Tim?
was not horrible
But then
at all.
Tim literally said, if Crystal has any questions about what happened that night, she can talk to me.
After he also said that, no.
These are the kind of people that you keep yourself involved with.
So again, I just want to say this, like, if I was Matt, I'd also be upset, and he has a reason to be upset. And when he says this, you know, because, you know, he's saying in here, like, you know, I buy you this, I buy you that, and you're still telling people that I'm abusive. And he is abusive, he is. But she's going back to, like I said, if you're going to enter a relationship, you got to let go of all that shit from before, or it's never going to work. It was never going to work anyway, because they're just toxic together. But, you know, he said, you know, why can't I be upset? Why can't I express that I'm upset? And she's like, you did, and I gave you a valid reason. There is no valid reason why you should be stalking your ex on Facebook when you're in a relationship. Not when it was like just literally a couple of weeks beforehand. There's no reason to it. Like, if you don't care about them, you shouldn't give a fuck what they're doing, okay? I get it in if you're not in any relationship and you want to just, like, I don't know, with your friends and have a laugh or whatever, but I just feel like it's not really the time and place to do it when it's just a couple of weeks in, especially when all this other stuff's happening. So obviously, you know, she's recording this. I think he knows that she's recording this. I don't know why she's recording it. Like, you know, at the start he's talking about him being abusive and stuff, and I kind of feel like she's like, you know, I'm recording this to show everyone how abusive you are, and he knew that was the case. And so, like, he does make valid points during this argument. There's no way she should be talking to him. If it was the other way around, she would lose that shit if it was like Angela. But I also forgot one of the douchebag moments the other day when he was like, you know, is your hand broken too, or whatever it was. It was actually in that text message when she said, you know, she wrote in there saying, you know, Matt, I'm still bleeding from pregnancy. And he wrote, is your mouth bleeding too? Like, your mouth isn't bleeding or something. Like, that's how much of a fuckhead he was. But she got back with him after this. So, you know, this is her own fault. Like, she's a dick. But anyways, there's actually a couple of videos where people are talking about, like, how homophobic Matt is. And obviously, you know now that Matt was actually trying to cheat on Holly, who is his new wife, with her best friend, who is a man. And, like, this is a guy that has been making, like, homophobic videos and making homophobic remarks for, like, the longest time. And people were always saying stuff like, you know, there's something going on here. Like, it's weird. Like, someone uploaded this video, and I will share the audio with you. But it says, wow, Crystal picked a homophobic winner. He's one to talk after cheating on his pregnant wife and leaving his 3 kids for a girl barely of legal age. Then getting her so wasted, she had to be hospitalized for alcohol poisoning. Now, I don't remember that part, but fucking hell. I do remember like briefly someone talking about it, but I don't remember like seeing all the posts and stuff about it. But I do remember when him and Angela broke up, like they had a fight like in a car park or something, and he just drove off and left her there, and she had to get her dad to come and get her, if I remember correctly. I mean, this is a long time ago, like we're talking 6 years back, but that's what I kind of remember. And they said the fact that he's noticing guys' skinny jeans so much kind of makes me wonder what he's trying so hard to hide himself. Ding, ding, ding. He's such a joke. He has to make himself better by being judgmental to others when he's literally the bottom of the barrel trash. Crystal should have stayed with Timmy. He was definitely an upgrade from Matt. But I'm going to play the audio from this video. And this girl is spot on. Like, she's absolutely spot on with her comments. It really does seem like, you know, he's trying to cover for what he really is. It's like a curiosity thing. You know, so there's no doubt in my mind he's bisexual. Like, if we talk about... I'll try and get the text messages between him and Holly's friends so I can read them out. I do have them somewhere, but it's like it's really unorganized in my screenshots. But it's kind of like he's like trying to make these videos, waiting for comments to sort of like feel his curiosity, I guess. But listen to this video, like how, oh my God, it is really, really rude.
Oh, you wear skinny jeans? Where do you put your dick? I must not have enough swag. Skinny jeans will straight up break your boner in half. Nobody likes a broke dick. Wow, those skinny jeans make you look so manly. Said no girl ever. Yeah, bro. Those skinny jeans make your camel toe look beast. Skinny jeans are like Chevys, mostly for fags. I think...
Wow, like... What a dick. And can I not, like, I just want to mention this as well. This skinny jeans parody has Luckless Matt. So he's actually got this with his logo on YouTube as a part of his brand. Like how people, I don't know why anyone would buy from Luckless.
Y'all took the phrase, getting into her pants, the wrong way. It says here, you think you're a man because you have a beard. Your skinny jeans determined that was a lie. Your mom called. She said she wants her jeans back. Unless your name's Luke Bryan, burn them. The following is a list of people who shouldn't wear skinny jeans. Dudes, should you consider wearing skinny jeans? No. You wear skinny jeans? I bet you vape and work at GameStop. You're probably overly obsessed with craft beer and have a baby dick. Let me make this clear. There's a difference between skinny jeans and Wranglers. Dudes and Wranglers get pussy. Dudes in skinny jeans have pussies. Do I want some skinny jeans? No, thank you. I drive a Ford. Nuts don't fit. Dudes who wear skinny jeans are the type of dude to pour their beer out when nobody's looking, then ask for another.
I want to just say, I can't even imagine Matt drinking a beer. Like, I feel like he would be more like a cosmopolitan kind of guy. So I don't know what he's getting at there.
Dudes who wear skinny jeans are the type of dude to pick up a soccer ball and whisper to it and say, "You don't deserve to be kicked around like this." You know that guy that when he goes to shake your hand, he grabs the tip of your fingers? Skinny jeans. Skinny jeans would make you the dude that has to ride a horse with both legs on one side.
And have a listen to it. Like, this is coming from a guy that literally sounds like Kermit the fucking Frog.
Fuck. If you wear skinny jeans, I guarantee you're the type of dude that tries to make eye contact with me through the crack in the bathroom stall. You probably think fireworks are too dangerous. Bet you turn down the TV when your cat falls asleep. Hi, Billy Mays here. Skinny jeans are gay. Take off your little sister's jeans, bro. You shaved your head bald. You got a bro tank on. You got shitty sleeve tattoos and you're wearing Toms. That's why she left your last text message on red. Captain, get swipe left on Tinder. Skinny jeans will turn you into a lady where your baby maker used to be. Looking like a bunch of gay zombies walking around, can't even bend at their knees. 10 out of 10 men who wear skinny jeans look like they swallow cucumbers with their buttholes. Girls are wearing Jordans, Timbs, and snapback hats, and dudes are wearing tights and skinny jeans. This is not the shit Usher meant by trading places. Our country has an obesity problem and a skinny jeans fad. That's a fucking recipe for disaster. And it's Luckless Matt here signing off. And I'll leave you with this. Girls with flat asses shouldn't wear leggings. And dudes shouldn't wear skinny jeans. Oh, you wear...
And he actually winks at the end of that. Like, ugh. And it's... You know, when Matt winks at the camera, it just makes your whole insides turn, like, ugh. It's just disgusting. But anyway, this is actually still up. Like, this is still up on YouTube, and it's got Luckless Matt on it. I cannot believe people actually buy from someone who talks this way, who is that homophobic. And I can't believe he hasn't deleted this video after he was busted trying to have sex with Holly's best friend, who is a guy. Oh my God. But there's one more I want to share with you as well, which is kind of the same thing. He's talking about trucks and stuff, but it's the same sort of concept. He's still, being a total homophobe.
Well, you've probably seen the Silver Gate old guy responded to my Ford parody video. I think the pink Ford got to him a little bit. Someone told him I'm not giving him his deposit back for renting out this RV for his next donkey show. Claims I painted my pink truck to match my pussy. Fuck yeah, I did. Those things are durable and they can take a beating. You wouldn't know. Well, I actually painted it for breast cancer awareness, supporting them man titties you got. Last week I seen a Chevy down at the local gay club. I heard he was burning more rubbers than Richard Petty. Must be why he calls himself the king. Amiri reminds me an awful lot of that Olaf from Frozen. Hi, my name's Amiri, and I like warm dicks. You're supposed to fix your vehicle ass down, face up. Well, that dude drives a Chevy. Probably fixes his vehicle face down, ass up. As you can see, it's raining outside. That's just the shit that happens when you get more than one Ford in the same parking lot. Shit gets wet. But I understand, life must be hard being a Chevy owner. Life without women must be a pain in the ass. What do you call the moment when 2 or more Chevys drive by? A fruit roll-up. What do Chevy drivers have in common with bungee jumpers? If the rubber breaks, they're in deep fucking shit. Want to double the value of your Chevy? Put some gas in it. Heard you were talking about my mama. She told me you sent her a dick pic, looked like a field mouse. She said if you were any more of a bitch, you'd have puppies. Sure does have a lot of gay jokes. I got a couple friends that are gay. Just like women, they won't fuck you. They said Chevy drivers are just too gay. How much wood could a GM haul if a GM truck could haul wood? As much as the Ford towing it. You know what they say, buy a Chevy and you buy the best. Drive the first mile, walk the rest.
And the wink again. Oh my God. So that's like a minute 41 of your life you can never get back, and I apologize for that, but I just wanted to show what kind of a dick he really is. Like, this is, I just can't even believe anyone would support him. Like, why? And there is like 327,000 views on this, and I do not understand. Like, granted, there's like 300 thumbs down, but I mean, there's like people in the comments like, oh, this is awesome, ha ha ha. What is wrong with you people? Like, he's just doing all these homophobic rants and you think it's hilarious? I don't think it's funny. Like, there's a couple of things that, you would giggle under other circumstances, but it's not really that funny, honestly. This was also around the time when Crystal started doing her daily vlogs with Matt in it. So they did like the Bean Boozle challenge. And, these guys went and filled an entire bath with those ramen noodles, like a whole bath of them for the kids. And people are like, people say it's gross as hell. And someone else is like, not to mention a huge waste of money. Glad their GoFundMe money's been put to good use. Sarcasm. Like, this is the thing. Like, they were so wasteful with money. And Crystal's even admitted this, like, that she's got bad spending habits. But they were so wasteful with money. And then they would, like, rely on others to like bail them out of trouble. So this is where that money happened with the hacking. So they apparently had someone hack into their store account and stole at least $5,000. So now they can't pay their employees or some crap like that. Dare I say it's karma for the horrible person Matt is. Poor kids by Matt and Crystal need a slap into reality. Sorry, my apologies. It's meant to say, but Matt and Crystal need a slap into reality. So there's a bit of a typo there. But I do remember this caused a bit of a rift between Matt and Crystal, because he posted the GoFundMe and he was like arguing back and forth with people, and people were like, this is a scam. Like, this is the second GoFundMe you've asked for. And people were not happy with it. And I think Crystal was feeling the heat because people were going onto her page and like commenting things, and she didn't want it to be posted. She asked him not to do it, and he ended up posting it. And then not that long afterwards, they ended up breaking up again. But I'll get back to that. So I'm going to leave it there because obviously we're over the half-hour mark now. I did ask you guys on the page, we want to do a half-hour, an hour. I mean, it was pretty half for half. It kept sort of swapping over with what you guys wanted to see. But I will continue the half-hour one. what I'll do is if they go for longer, I'll just split them into part 1, part 2. So we'll probably still have videos that will go for like, you know, an hour and a half, but I'll just split them into half-hour sections, and then you can just like follow on from the last video. But anyways, I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with part 3 for this video. And in the meantime, I'll catch you on the page at TWT 3.0.